Welcome back to episode 9 of D3, Dominici's Discussions and Debates, your source of discourse, discord, and everything in between. I'm your host, Dominici Lapierre. Today is December 4th, 2025, and I'm joined by Josef Vyvial of Castleton in the Czech Republic. Thank you for being here, Joe.
Thank you for inviting me.
Hey, no
fun.
problem, man. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
If you're listening, Mom, hi. You're from the Czech Republic, which is all the way over in Europe, right?
Yeah.
So, what are some big cultural differences you've noticed between America and the Czech Republic?
I've been asked this question a bunch of times, and I never really know what to answer. There's a bunch of differences, but it's just hard for me to put it in words. But every country has its own kind of thing that I like. Czechia has got lots of culture and history. America's kind of more fast moving. But yeah, I like both. Czechia's way older country.
I was just gonna say, how old is it?
So there's Prague, some of the buildings in Prague are from the 1200, and it goes even longer. But yeah.
I could be wrong. Didn't it used to be Czechoslovakia, and then it split into the Czech Republic and then Slovakia?
Yeah, so it used to be Czechoslovakia since the 1918 till 1983. Then it got split. It was called the Velvet Divorce. Because the countries got split in a peaceful way. It wasn't
violent.
No, we're still Czechia and Slovakia, we still call each other's brothers.
Okay.
But yeah, for political reasons, they just decided to split, and so ever since the 1st January 1993, we've been Czech Republic or Czechia.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're not a stranger to America. You've been here since you've been coming here since you were about 15, right?
No, I came
earlier.
Actually, no, I came to Wilkes-Barre, Scranton when I was, I think, 19.
19? Oh, okay, yeah. So a little bit older than that.
19 or 20, I'm not sure now, but yeah.
Oh, okay. So, you stayed in Scranton, PA for a while. How did you like Scranton?
I did. What was funny, I was watching the Office this summer before I came here, and I was supposed to be based in Scranton, and then I came here and I noticed I'm in Scranton, so that was kind of funny. But I stayed with this family, billet family, and they took a great care of me, and they just gave me a great overall experience of America. Yeah, it was definitely a good start to America.
Would you say you prefer the landscape of Scranton or Castleton more?
I wouldn't say it's that different.
No.
I kind of like Castleton a little bit more. I would say it's more in the nature, I feel like, which I kind of like. It's a lot similar to Czech too. We get all 4 seasons. The winters are maybe a little bit longer, a little bit colder here, but I don't mind that. I would say Castleton a little bit better over Scranton.
Okay. So I was gonna say this. So there's not much difference between terrain and climate between Castleton and Castleton.
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and as we discussed in the media writing interview, you being so far away, it's kind of hard for you to deal with the homesick. So do you have any ways you kind of work around, missing the Czech Republic and getting that homesick feeling?
Definitely being in touch with my parents, my siblings, my friends over the phone makes it a lot easier. Back in the day, I'm sure when people would come here and they would have to send letters, it was definitely a lot harder.
Mm-hmm.
I can just hop on a FaceTime every time I want, anytime.
You do that a lot?
I try to do it pretty often, once a week with my parents, and then with my friends every now and then. But yeah, I do that. Sometimes I watch movies in Czech, but just being here and having so many friends and so many activities, it just kind of distracts you from the homesickness. So.
Oh, okay, 100%.
Yeah.
And you have 2 siblings, a 13-year-old sister, Valentina,
mm-hmm.
and a 19-year-old brother, Jan.
Mm-hmm.
What are they up to? What do they got going on back home?
So my sister, she is still in elementary school.
Okay.
8th grade. She's been playing floorball. I don't know if you guys are familiar here with that sport.
I'm not.
So it's kind of like hockey, but it's indoors, and you play with this plastic, like a hollow ball with the holes in it.
Okay.
It's pretty popular over there. So she's been playing that for, I think, I don't want to say, I don't know, 3-4 years maybe. And my brother, he's a hockey player too. He just started college back home, and he actually just had he had his debut in professional hockey last week. So lots of exciting stuff.
What team's he on?
So he plays juniors. The team's called Mountfield Hradec Králové in Czech, and it's a big club. Like over there, there's no really, I mean, there are college teams, but it's mostly club teams. So it's a big club team. They have the men's team, and then they have juniors, and then the younger categories too. So he plays for the juniors, and then he signed a contract with the men's team, and he just got called up for his first game, and it's called Extraliga. It's the best professional hockey league in Czech. So
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Really
Seriously.
excited for him. Really proud of him.
So, we'll get into this a little bit more later, but I kind of have to bounce around to ask some of these questions.
Mm-hmm.
You are pursuing a career in graphic design,
Mm-hmm.
but your mother, Marcella, I'm sorry if I butcher these names.
No, you're saying it's perfect.
Is an accountant, and your father, how do you pronounce his name?
Radek.
Radek is a fire chief, correct?
Yeah.
Did you ever consider becoming an accountant or working in the fire department and doing any of that?
Definitely not accountant. I
No.
remember in high school that was one of my least favorite subjects. I gotta say, at the end of the school, like I kind of, when I studied for it a lot and I kind of understood the concept, it kind of got more fun. But I don't think I ever thought for a second I could be accountant.
No.
But I guess when I was a kid, people like were maybe expecting me to end up being a firefighter because my dad is and kind of runs in the family. But I don't think I ever put like any deep thoughts into it.
No.
No.
Okay. And your father was a pro athlete at some point?
So I don't think it's professional firefighters doing that sport. I don't think the sport itself is considered professional.
Okay.
So the sport, it's kind of hard to describe to Americans. It's somewhat popular in like Czechia and more the Eastern Europe, like Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Slovakia. You definitely can't compare it to hockey and soccer, in a way like how big it is, but the sport it's kind of like track and field combined with a bunch of obstacles that require like firefighting skills.
Okay.
So that, and where my dad's from, that area of the country, it's really popular over there, and everyone does it over there. So he did that for his whole life. Now he's a coach, and he's been very successful.
What does that entail? Like, what do they do to score?
So there's like a bunch of different disciplines. The one he would do the most, there's like a big wooden wall, and it's got three different stages, and you have a ladder, and so they say start, and you run up to the wall. You climb, like you put the ladder into the first window, climb up, put the ladder in the second window, climb up.
A lot on Instagram. They've been doing that in America now. They're bringing that here.
Yeah,
I've been seeing that a lot.
Yeah, so that's like one of the disciplines particularly that one. That's the one he was really good at. And then there's a bunch of like team ones too. They do 100 meters with like 5 different obstacles. You have to like connect hose together and climb over a barrier and stuff like that. So
I've been seeing one where they like fill buckets and they gotta like try to pass them up. I don't know if that's quite the same.
That's not the one. I've seen that one, but that's not the one they do over there. But
okay, different things.
Yeah.
All right.
So they don't really score. Everything's mostly like time, like whoever gets it done the fastest. Yeah. So yeah, he had a bunch of records.
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
Seriously, that's really cool, and that's a scary one because by the time you hit that third window, you're like 40
You're pretty
feet
high
in the
up.
air.
You're pretty high up.
You fall, you're feeling that.
Yeah, definitely.
Back to your family. You have a dog, Mona, an Alaskan Malamute. Is she your only pet?
We got 2 cats. Didn't really have names. We tried to give them names, but never really caught up. So we just call them just cat 1, cat 2, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean I like him, but I it's nothing like my dog. Like I miss my dog so much. The cats are kind of like in and out.
Oh, okay. They're outside cats. They
Yeah,
come around. Okay.
Yeah. They just come in to like for food and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Regarding food, you've talked about the difference between food in the Czech Republic and America a lot, and you've talked about Czech dumplings. I believe it's pronounced chabliki or
Chlebičky?
Oh yeah, not even close. Okay, completely butchered it. Yeah, you talked about that a little, and you've talked about missing it. So, you have any comments on that? The differences between U.S. and Czech food?
Yeah. Yeah, chlebička. I remember I mentioned that. It's like an open sandwich. It's I don't know, just like this traditional food from Czech that I guess not many people anymore really eat as much. Back in the day, it was pretty popular, but I still love it. Uh, but the food, I just feel like back home the food is more rich and like people take their time to prepare it. At least like in my family, like a lot of cooking over the weekend, and here it's kind of like more fast, like pre-made stuff, just
Yeah.
heat it up. But I don't want to speak bad about like the food here. Like there's a huge variety of food and stuff you can get. Like I can cook pretty much anything. But then there's still stuff that I can't get here
Yeah.
that I only can get back home.
I was gonna say
So-
we do have an obesity problem, so do not feel
Yeah.
bad talking about the food. We do have a problem with food in this country.
So yeah, I definitely prefer the food back home over the food we have here. But then there's great spots that I've been to for steaks and a bunch of different stuff that I would probably never find in Czech. So yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And moving into recreation and the stuff you do for fun, you like to animate. I've read. Have you worked on any pieces or anything like that?
I've animated a little bit. That's something I really want to get into. But last year, actually it was this year, but last school year, my internship had Casella had an opportunity to have either animation or static graphic for one of the Hockey East quarterfinal games in Maine. They had one of these ribbons screens, they call them, and I just decided to animate it, learn how to animate it and do it. So that was probably like the biggest animation project I've had. And it was just like, it was for my internship. It was like a Casella logo with some text running over right above the ice. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I was just gonna ask. I was saying, was that a fun process to kind of self-teach yourself through that and then do it like that?
Yeah, I had very little knowledge in animation and specifically in the software, After Effects. So it took me like 3 days. I outspent literally like 15 hours in the computer lab, 3 days in a row trying to learn, and get it done on time. And then it was definitely really rewarding seeing it on the screen like that. And anytime I get to combine graphic design, or like digital art with hockey, it's just kind of special. So it's definitely fun seeing it.
Oh, it's awesome to
Yeah.
get to merge your two passions like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And you play piano, I've heard. So, how old were you when you started playing piano?
I believe I was 17, 18. I think during COVID, we were all locked up home, so I just decided to teach myself a little bit. I haven't played in a while, though. I was like in and out with it, so I can still play a little bit, but I've been playing guitar lately. I learned how to play the guitar like last year, so I've been playing guitar a little bit more than piano.
Okay. And I was just gonna ask. Well, now I'll ask this for both guitar, piano, and guitar.
Mhm.
Why'd you pick those two instruments out of all the instruments?
I don't really know.
They just seemed appealing.
Yeah, they seemed appealing for sure. I think the piano. I really liked this girl at the time, and she was really into piano music. So I that was definitely
That
one
checks
of the reasons.
out.
That was one of the reasons too. But I just I just love how they sound, and I love how guitar you can just like pick it up, grab it wherever you go, and just play. Piano is a little bit different in that way, but it just sounds pretty. So.
Well, what's your favorite type of music to play then?
I kind of like old school with music, so like the old school rock, pop, campfire, country songs too. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say if you got a guitar, you can really play almost any genre of music with a guitar if you
Pretty
get
much.
proficient at it.
yeah, there's a big range of songs you can do with only a few chords, but then there's a bunch of songs where you really have to like dig in deep and there's so yeah.
Do you play acoustic or electric?
I play acoustic. I've tried electric a bunch of times, and some of the songs you can play the same way as you do acoustic, so I played that. But
Okay. Would
Yeah,
you prefer acoustic?
I prefer acoustic. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. And, do you have any hobbies outside of those two and outside of hockey and art?
I really like movies. I like cooking. Honestly, I like to read too. Probably. Really? I like to read a little bit more than I do, but yeah, I like to. I like.
What is some of your favorite literature?
Literature. I read the Harry Potter books.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big Harry Potter guy, but the most favorite the books I like to read are biographies. So, I read the Mike Tyson book.
That's a crazy guy.
That was a thick one, but that was a fun one to read. The David Goggins.
That's a good
11 Rigs from Phil Jackson. There's a book that came out recently that I'd really like to get and read. That Anthony Hopkins wrote about his life. So
the actor.
The actor.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, those are some good pulls, Joe.
Yeah.
And you mentioned food as well and movies. So then, what are some of your favorite dishes to cook, and what are a few of your favorite films then?
For films, like I said, Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
But it's really hard to pick just my favorite movie. There's so many.
I was gonna say it's hard to give one the gold star.
Yeah, there's so many different genres, but if I had to pick few, I would say Seven.
I've never watched it. Is it good?
It's a great movie. American Psycho.
I've seen that.
No Country for Old Men. Forrest Gump, Shawshank. I love Quentin Tarantino's movies. Pretty much all of them.
I was gonna say Django's probably one of my all times.
Yeah. Pulp Fiction, I would say, is my favorite from his movies. But yeah, I like his movies. I like Scorsese's movies, Goodfellas, Casino.
Reservoir Dogs too, dude.
Reservoir Dogs too, yeah.
That's a great movie. I loved watching that.
Yeah, and Christopher Nolan's movies too.
You know
The
ball,
Dark
man.
Knight.
You know what's up. You really know what's up. These are great picks.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot that I'm forgetting right now, but yeah, I would say that for films, for food.
For you to cook,
For me to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to cook Mexican. We have a little Taco Tuesday club going on with my teammates. So carnitas maybe, barbacoa, stuff like that.
Dude, that's a good pull. We have this guy on our team, Jomar Mena. His mom makes empanadas and brings them every once in a while.
Oh, that's fun.
That woman is a phenomenal cook.
Yeah,
those empanadas are phenomenal.
I bet.
Okay, and as we move into the next topic, I'm just going to read off a few of your stats just so people can kind of get a feel. You're a very accomplished hockey player. You're a really pivotal part of the VTSU Castleton hockey team. You were third on the team, I believe, your first season with us, 2023 to 24, and you had 6 goals for 17 points and 11 assists. 2024, you had 5 and 3 assists. And before you came to Castleton, you played for teams, like you said. Are these the same team, Wilkes-Barre and Scranton?
Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights is one team.
Okay, yeah, you played for Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. And you also played for a team back in the Czech Republic, if you want to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to...
Hadze Dukojehlava.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, I don't...
No, you don't have to.
But, yeah, seriously, you have had an awesome career. So how old were you when you started playing hockey?
I was about 3 years old.
Wow.
Like the first time I started skating, I wouldn't call it playing hockey. But the first time I got on the ice, I was either not even 3 or I just, 3 years old. My grandparents took me on a pond, skated around the pond a bunch of times, and then straight to the rink. It was like his dream that his grandchildren would play hockey. So
that's awesome.
And stuck with it ever since.
And was that kind of why? Was your grandfather's influence there?
Yeah, I think without him, I wouldn't be playing hockey. My dad was always more into like track and field. So I probably would be doing track and field if it wasn't for my grandfather. But
it might be a little side tangent, but is track and field big in Czech Republic?
It's pretty big. Yeah, we actually have some. I think there's still a bunch of not national, world records or Olympic records held by Czech athletes. I know the javelin, men's javelin and women's javelin. I know of those two.
Those are Czech Republics?
Those are, athletes from Czech Republic they hold a world record in those two disciplines. And I'm sure there's few more, but yeah, it's pretty big in Czech.
There's quite a few. I just googled it. There's quite a bit. There's
Yeah.
quite a bit. You guys
800 meters, I'm pretty sure, too.
yeah, world or female 800 meters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. When I thought of it, I thought it would have been like hockey, like you said, soccer.
Yeah.
But
no, track and field is pretty popular. I haven't been following much lately. I don't know how like the country is doing, has been doing lately, but yeah, overall it's been pretty successful in this sport.
okay, and moving forward with the kind of not just looking at hockey as a sport, but how is your outlook on hockey developed over time? When you were younger, were you super into it, or was it parent pressure, or has it always been for you, I love this, I'm in it?
It definitely wasn't always like that. There were definitely moments and periods of time where I didn't love it as much. There were moments when I was all about hockey and nothing else. So it changed throughout the time, elementary, high school, and then here, specifically last year, I would say, was kind of hard. I was more into, I would say, the graphic design stuff, and I was in my head I was thinking more about that stuff than hockey, and then it kind of shown on the ice too. I just wasn't playing my best. But yeah, I remember some moments even when I was a kid. I just wasn't doing great, and I felt the pressure from my parents, even though there really wasn't any, I would say. But and then I remember in juniors, one of the years, my third year playing juniors in Czech, that was just like all hockey, nothing else, just like at the rink all day, every day, and that was a lot of fun.
I was gonna say, that's not a bad thing, to have a passion like that.
Yeah.
And that leads into my next question perfectly, because I was gonna ask how has your work ethic developed over time? Was it like middle school, or like you said, probably around your third year of juniors then, where you started really buying in, and what's that look like for you? Like, do you do extra cardio sometimes? Do you lift? Like, how does that, training schedule look for you, and how has it developed over time, especially now that you're in college, where any college sport you got to be doing extra?
Yeah, I would say my work ethic, like sports wise, has always been really good. Obviously I slipped from the path a little bit a few times, but with my dad being professional athlete, he was he always made sure that I do extra, and he'd help me out so much. He would prepare the practices for me, and I remember as a kid he had like a little tab for me with a bunch of different drills and exercises to do in a week.
That's awesome.
So I was pretty on top of that my whole life pretty much, but now it's up until now it was, other than hockey and school, I didn't have much going on. Lately I've been getting more projects and stuff to do outside of school and hockey, so there's not as much time to do as much extra stuff.
Yeah.
But
100%. But that's not a bad thing, being a well-rounded individual. Sometimes I think college athletes get too caught up in that, like making their sport their identity.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you're such an interesting guy, is because you aren't just a hockey player.
Yeah.
You're a multifaceted, talented individual who happens to be good at hockey, and people don't know the difference a lot of times. So that's really not a bad thing in any regard.
Yeah.
And, do you think hockey has kind of helped to mold your view on life as you got older and as you've became a man?
I would say so. Hockey has definitely helped me just with like socializing and being part of a team. I just find it so much easier now, just building new connections and meeting new people and work in a group in my classes, and or even in my internship. Just being part of a team my whole life teaches you a lot, and it definitely goes hand to hand with like your personal life too. You get into fights with your best friends, but then you get over it. Stuff like that.
100%. And you said, correct me if I'm wrong, you said American hockey's playing style is a little bit faster and less methodical, like less playmaking. They pass a little bit less. It's
Mm-hmm.
faster paced than in the Czech Republic and Europe. So which do you prefer as an athlete? Do you prefer the American style or the European style?
That's an interesting question.
Well, from your stats, it seems you're the kind of player that likes to be given the opportunity to shoot. And
Mhm.
getting that angle and getting that space
Yeah.
is where you seem to thrive.
I definitely don't mind the fast moving game. I prefer the American one because I've been playing the American style for past 4 years, so I don't really remember as much how it was, playing the European.
Yeah, because you were younger.
But it's a little bit different. The sheet over there is wider. Here it's thinner, so there's less time for everything. It's more back and forth, and in Europe, like the teams, at least in juniors, they tend to get more like creative and make fancy plays and play with the puck a little bit more. So
The actual rink size is smaller?
the sheet, the ice.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Same
the
amount of
Olympic
players?
sheets is thicker than the NHL style, and here most of the colleges have the NHL style rink. There's colleges like Skidmore and Southern Maine where their sheet is pretty wide. So I get to somewhat experience the European hockey on their sheet because there's a lot more space. But
Okay.
yeah, I prefer the smaller one, the American style.
Is it the same amount of players on both? Same.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the same game. It's just the sheets. a little
Okay,
bit
so
smaller.
you are working with less space. You are
Yeah.
working with significantly. And
Yeah.
is it like a big difference or just a few feet, you think?
So, I wouldn't know in feet, but in meters, I would say
okay.
like 2 to 4 meters thinner.
So that's still pretty significant.
Yeah. So what is that like?
Yeah, I wish
Like
we used
15,
the Imperial
like
system
12,
so
15
bad.
feet maybe,
Okay.
something like that. Yeah.
I was just saying, I wish we used the Imperial system so bad. We have our own, the Americans have their own measurements for everything.
Yeah.
For everything.
I know how to convert some of the stuff, most of them I would say, but feet and gallons and
No, I'm using
some of
Google
that
every
I still
time.
struggle. So
Every time.
yeah.
And, for this next question, if you don't want to answer, you don't have to.
Mhm.
But I've read on your profile that you have a pregame superstition. What is this superstition?
So there's a few of them. I'm not really big on superstitions like that, but I have like a routine that I go through before every single game, and I'm sure all the guys on the team do. It starts from like putting biofreeze on my legs, just like getting a little massage my legs a little bit. Certain stretches I do. I used to like put on my left skate on first and tie it first, but I don't think I'm doing that anymore. But then me and one of my teammates we play soccer, sewer ball for a good 10-15 minutes before a game. So that was kind of stuff.
You play what? I'm sorry.
Like a soccer sewer ball, I think
okay.
you call it too. Yeah,
Okay.
just kick this soccer ball around.
Just to get your body warm?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say I was reading your profile when I was doing research and it said superstition and I was like, what do they mean
Yeah.
superstition? I
Yeah.
was like,
Hockey players tend to be very superstitious.
Mm.
I definitely know a few players that they have some crazy rituals before their games, but
yeah, I mean, I used to be like that. I used to have times I would have in high school and stuff. Before a match, I'd have to be wearing certain socks that would match the color of the
Yeah.
singlets we were wearing
Yeah.
and stuff. And it was just.
it helps,
ridiculous. Well, I think the placebo effect is real. If you
Yeah.
think it's helping you, it's gonna help you.
Yeah.
As we move into your art and graphic design career, you have done a lot. You, like you've already said, you are an intern at Casella Waste down in, is that in Rutland?
That's in Rutland, yeah.
And you had your trash bin design selected for the competition in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
When you designed the owners, you drew them on top of the bin
Yeah.
with all the different, and all the different eco-friendly different designs.
Yeah.
You designed the Pink the Rink breast cancer awareness jerseys for Castleton.
Those I didn't do. Those I did the mental health game.
The mental health
So
game.
that's like the men's the one we do for men is breaking the ice for mental health, and then the Pink the Ring is for women.
Okay, but you just do the mental health?
I just did the mental health.
Oh, okay, my apologies. But and then you also designed merchandise for a Czech hockey team back in the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
You were selected for that. So I asked you to help me with one, and instantly you made an awesome design. So you're very talented.
Thank you.
So, you're a junior here, so you're reaching a point where you're been doing this for a long time now, and you major in graphic design. You have a minor in digital art. Why did you pick these studies to pursue?
I major in graphic design. I don't have a minor yet.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna be starting a marketing minor next semester.
Oh, okay.
I've always been artsy kid ever since I was little. I used to draw all the time, and when it came to a point in my life where I had to decide what I kind of want to pursue, I just felt graphic design is something that just sounds fun and interesting and somewhat related to arts and something where I could use my drawing skills. But I didn't really know much about it. I didn't know what they really do. But yeah, I just decided to go for it, and now as I'm learning more and more and more about it, I fell in love with it. And there's so many different fields in graphic design, and I kind of try to explore all of them, get my hands on as many of them as I can.
But you don't minor in digital art?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say you gotta talk to whoever did your hockey profile, bro.
Yeah.
They're making me look like an idiot right now. I'm reading all this stuff off.
I mean, I'm I do digital art all the time, but I don't really.
You don't officially minor.
No.
Okay, I was gonna say whoever did your profile for the hockey teams got me out here looking like I don't do my research. You should.
No, you did your research good.
Okay. Basically, you like you said, you have these outlets for your skills. So damn, I'm stuttering. Sorry, I'm tired. When did you realize what age were you that this was your thing and you were into this?
I would say during high school when I was deciding whether to come here or no. I was 17, 18.
So not crazy long ago.
No, not really.
How old are you now?
23.
23, okay.
At that point I was like, I want to go to America, play hockey, go to college, study graphic design. But my first year in America, I just played hockey for that junior team in Wilkes-Barre. But other than hockey, I had nothing else really going on. I had a bunch of little commissions, but it was mostly drawings for people, but nothing really graphic design related. But before I came here, I would do stuff like I do the social media for my junior team in Czechia, but I would be just using my iPad and doing graphics and some apps from App Store. But I really got into graphic design my first year here.
Okay, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
And when you were deciding which college to go to, why did you choose Castleton?
So I talked to a bunch of different colleges because we get recruited, and Castleton was might have been the only one that offered graphic design. I like the area, like the coach, and it was one of the cheaper ones too. So it was seemed like a perfect fit.
And what were some of those other teams you looked at?
I talked to Edmund for Newman University, Stevenson, King's College. I think UMass Dartmouth was there.
So you had some options.
Yeah, I had a few options, but yeah, Castleton just felt like the best fit.
Well, that's awesome to see that. And like I said, you're a junior, so you're reaching a point where you're gonna start deciding by this time around next year what you want to do and where you want to go. So have you started thinking about that, getting any job offers or anything like that, or looking into any companies you want to work for?
I've been thinking about it, and there's I still love playing hockey, and I just don't want to give up on hockey. So I feel like there's few ways for me to go when I'm done here, either going back home and try to pursue hockey career for a little bit longer, see where that takes me, or stay here for maybe another year or two and try to get a job maybe. And I like to get a job in a big city, Boston, New York City, LA. And then maybe I thought about also going to grad school, but that's the last option. So one of the first two, either going back and try to play hockey and get something going on graphic design wise on my own, or try to get a job in States for some time.
Okay. And do you think you are leaning towards one, or is this kind of something we're gonna think deeper about later on?
Probably later on.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Right now, I'm not leaning towards it. Right now, it's 50-50. It's really hard to decide. But
And when you begin your career, wherever you may end up, you're probably, I imagine you're going to stay somewhat involved with hockey. Like, you're probably going to do design for hockey teams and things like that still.
yeah, uh, yeah. I mean, I don't think I want to do it as a profession.
No?
No. Like right now, I do it. I do the social media for our hockey team, and I've been doing that for a while, and it's fun. But I'd like to explore other graphic design fields too. I love doing sports graphic. So maybe I'll do it for a little bit, but then I like to try like doing logos maybe or start a graphic design company on my own. I don't know, maybe product designer.
And you said you're thinking about taking, or you are going to take a marketing minor.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to incorporate that into your, how do you plan on integrating that?
Well, my internship, I've been part of marketing team for over a year now.
Oh, okay, so you're in actual
So,
marketing?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
part of a marketing team, so it goes hand in hand to hand. So, I just want to learn more about it, and I feel like it's a pretty good combination.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm
do.
going to keep it, but I'm a business administration marketing concentration. And
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm going to keep my concentration now that I have the major,
Yeah.
the comms major.
Mhm.
But it's a lot of what we do in communications and business is
Yeah,
marketing. I take a lot of marketing classes, and it is a really interesting
Yeah.
brand promotion and advertising and
Yeah.
marketing are such intricate
Yeah.
fields. And I mean, I think that'll help you anywhere.
Yeah.
In any field, or even if you do continue hockey, just knowing that it's not going to hurt you in life.
Yeah. And brand promotion, stuff like that goes hand to hand with graphic design. So.
Especially if you make your own
Yeah.
company,
Yeah.
that'd be huge. And in an idealistic world, let's say Joe gets his own company, you're financially stable off it, you're doing well. What is that company doing? Are you doing animation? Are you doing commissioned art?
So that I thought about only for a little bit. That I was thinking maybe like I'd have a company and then have like a bunch of other designers that are that concentrate on a bunch of different fields. So I have a person that does animation, person that does strictly video editing and photography, logos, and kind of like offer pretty much all of it.
You got any name concepts?
No,
ideas?
not anything like that.
This
No,
is just a
there's-
flicker in
Yeah,
the
this
brain
is
right
a
now.
little idea that maybe eventually at some point.
Man,
but
you got the talent to do
Yeah.
it, and I mean, worst case, you could always work for Casella because they're a great company. We do on the wrestling team, we do a lot of community service with them,
Mhm.
and they're great people. I believe his name is John, the man who runs it. I really like him. I've
Yeah.
had some great conversations with him.
Yeah.
Do you ever see him, or do you kind of work with just the marketing director?
I'm mostly with the marketing team. I've met him a few times and talked to him, but yeah, I can say only good stuff about Casella. They've done so much for me, and I learned so much just being part of the big projects and seeing everything like from up close, like how it works. It's just so much fun.
Have they had you doing anything big besides the aforementioned bin, the design bin?
So they had me do a whole bunch of stuff from little poster updates, brochure updates to making a new graphic for like I don't know, poster covers, displays. I've done art for I did this art for this company called Mover Bus. So they had like bunch of I don't know how many, like 25 different sizes of buses, and
Wow.
like the art went into their windows as an ad for Casella. So that was fun.
Do you know where the bus was? Like where it was
So
driving?
it's like
around?
all over Vermont, I think.
Oh, that's
um,
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they were going through cities and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
I would say the animation for the hockey game, that was a fun one. Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
And I mean, it's one of those things where art is so multifaceted, and you can make so many different types of art. And we had this discussion when you did your media writing interview for our class with Professor Blow. you can do cartoons, you can do silly little editorials like you do for the Spartan,
Mm-hmm.
or you can do like the shower girl piece where you can draw, very intricate, realistic pieces. And
Yeah.
I asked you this during the interview, but I'll ask you again for the sake here.
Mm-hmm.
You said you prefer sitting down and doing those long pieces, and how long
Yeah.
did that one take you again?
That one took me like 40 hours.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that one, yeah, I did that one 3 years ago, and that was probably the last like realistic drawing I did. But yeah, I remember, that was when I played juniors in Wilkes-Barre, because other than hockey, I didn't really have anything else going on. So I would get back from practice and I would sit down and just draw for hours. And I just remember it being fun, seeing the drawing come to life like that. But yeah, I don't really want to say I prefer one over another. They're both have
Different tools.
Yeah.
That's what Professor Clark said. I gotta rephrase those. I asked him, like, he does polls. I asked him, do you prefer polls or,
Yeah.
call researching or something? And he goes, I don't prefer my hammer over my wrench. I need
Yeah,
them
yeah.
both. So,
Yeah.
and it's one of those things where, you said you've done this, the last one you did.
Mm-hmm.
And 40 hours is so time consuming. How many other ones of those did you do?
So drawings like that would take me that amount of time. I would say I did like up to maybe like 7 drawings like that in my life. That would take me from like 20 to 40 hours. But I've done lots of sketches and little drawings and digital drawings that they don't take me as much. But I've been following some artists on social media, and I know they do drawings that are a little bit bigger than the one I did, and they go like up to like 200, 300 hours. So.
And how does that... The thing I've always wondered is,
Mm-hmm.
when someone sits down to make a drawing like that, you obviously kind of have to have some vision in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
For you, when you start a piece, do you have exactly what it looks like? Or is it just a rough idea and it evolves as you begin to create?
When I do a drawing like that, I always have a reference image, and I just draw what I see pretty much.
Okay.
So, if you want to do hyper-realistic drawing, you have to have, a reference, and then you're trying to, like, copy it pretty much. So I just have it in front of me, and then I just try to, like, draw exactly what I see, so.
Have you ever made a mistake?
Oh, yeah, I mean...
when you're, like, halfway through a piece and you're 100 hours in and you make a slip-up, how do you handle that?
I wouldn't say a slip up. That doesn't really happen, because you take a lot of time and you just go slowly, carefully. But I remember, and you can always fix it too. But
so caution prevents that.
Pretty much, yeah. But I remember I did a drawing of Al Pacino,
Wow.
and it was it was mostly charcoal. But then for one of this part, like for the eye part, I used graphite pencils for like the darkest parts, and then later on I found out that it wasn't a good call, because the graphite's very shiny. Charcoal is not shiny at all. And then under the light, it was like only the eye section of the eye was just like bright and shiny. And I didn't like that, and there's no way for you to fix it because of the graphite.
Oh, okay.
So that was one drawing I remember when I like messed it up, and there was no way of me to fix it.
How many hours did you invest there?
That was like 35 hours too. Like, it still looks good, but it's not really happy with.
Well, you probably hold yourself to a higher standard than a lot of the people looking at it. I was gonna. Well, I'm trying not to sit here and sound like I'm blowing smoke, but you do make very good art. I'm very impressed. Trying not to make myself sound like a fanboy type of thing, but you kind of have to be a perfectionist when you're making art on the level you're making it. To make a drawing that looks like a picture with a Snapchat filter over it, you know what I mean? That's the way I think of it, is that could be a real picture, shower girl, with the drawing Snapchat filter over it. It looks like it could be a real image. So you kind of got to be a perfectionist to even be that good, I guess, to create something that high level.
No, for that, definitely. You it's just the patience, wanting to spend that much time with it and just play with every little stroke, and definitely have to be detail-oriented person.
And do you publish a lot of these pieces, or at least post them somewhere?
I have my Instagram page, and I try to put all my art when it comes to drawings or digital stuff.
Do you want to plug it? Where could people find that?
So on Instagram, it's called pepino.arts.cz. Do you want me to spell it out? Or?
If you could. If you can.
If you want PEPINO .arts.cz.
Arts with an S?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, now when people watch it on the YouTube, if they're interested and they go back, they'll actually be able to pull it up.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it up right now just to see what you got going on. I was going to say, you do have some pretty wild stuff on here.
Yeah, I try to post, everything, pretty much everything I do, from videos to drawings to sports graphic to the stuff I do with Casella. So
I didn't know you did block prints. Is that just like a side thing you do? Or
so I took a class my freshman year with Phil Woodman, and it's art, so I just decided to post it.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, do you have any other forms of art that you don't do often that you want to get into more?
Painting.
Really?
Yeah, I took a painting class, and that was actually the first time I painted in 10, maybe even more years. I painted a little bit in elementary school, but I really enjoyed that class. I found it really relaxing. I guess I painted the trash can too, but it was really relaxing to just because I spent so much time with my computer trying to get off of the screen and just sit down, put a good music on, and paint. So
it's
that's
very
something
tranquil.
Yeah. So that's something I'd want to get into in the future a little bit more.
You ever watch, I know this is so corny, but you ever watch The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that show so much.
Yes.
I'm not even a painter for myself.
Yeah. And he makes it look so easy, but I've seen a bunch of episodes, before I go to bed, I just put it on because his voice is just so...
It's so calming.
Yeah, so common and nice to listen to.
Have you painted along to any of the episodes?
I've not, no. I've tried some of the techniques he uses in his paintings, on my paintings, but no, never.
Were they beneficial for your work?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so they were applicable for you.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things where it's so different. It's like, I don't know how I want to say it. Everyone, even if people use the same mediums, it's kind of like snowflakes. No style is precisely the same. So, when you make your art, do you notice any patterns? And when I say patterns, it could be maybe techniques you use, mediums we've used, we've talked about, you gravitate towards drawing a lot, because I see you post a lot of drawing and things like that. What kind of patterns do you notice you gravitate towards in your work?
I feel like I'm still kind of looking for...
Still developing
my
that?
style. I follow a bunch of artists and people on Instagram, and you can tell their style right away. I don't really have that yet. I'm just still trying to explore and see new things and see what's gonna fit me the best. But pattern, I guess in graphic design, patterns, and when I use Photoshop, Illustrator, there's specific techniques that I use over and over and over. No, I don't know. I have to think about it a little bit more, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, what does Pepino mean on the Instagram?
A lot of people ask me that. So, every Joseph back home in Czechia is also Peppa. I compare it to here you have Richard and Dick, William and Bill. It's the same name. It doesn't sound the same at all, but it's the same name. So back home, every person named Joseph can be called Peppa. It's automatic goes together. Okay. But some people don't prefer, some people just go strictly by Joseph, some go strictly by Peppa. And then Peppa has a bunch of different versions to it. It's Peppa, Pepcha, Pepino, Pepek. So those are kind of just names, nicknames that I get called back home, and I just, felt like no one really uses it here, so...
I was gonna say. I mean, I've never understood why Richard goes to Dick ever.
Yeah.
They don't even have the same
It doesn't make
letters. There's
sense.
no I have never understood why
Yeah.
Richard goes to
I
Dick.
kind of want to look into how Peppa and Joseph started, because it doesn't sound,
Do you know if that's just the Czech Republic or is that other European
This
countries
is just
too?
Czech Republic, I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Yeah.
That's a wild.
Maybe Slovakia too, but yeah.
That's a wild one. I've never heard that.
It's a very traditional Czech name.
What and again, it's kind of like not obvious, but you can tell when I was reading your family's names. You
Yeah.
know, like Jan, Valentina.
Mhm.
It is a very, like you said earlier, dude. It's such a rich culture.
Yeah.
It's so different, and not to say that American culture's shallow, but we've only been around for 270 years ish. I'm gonna get scorched when I go back and someone tells me I got that wrong. Something like that. But you guys have been around for, like you said, like thousands.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like it's kind of hard to compare. Like especially when you look at a country like China, who's been around for so long.
Yeah.
They have such deep cultural ties. And I think I would like to go kind of visit Czech before I die and go see kind of that. I would love to go check out, the Czech Republic. I would love to go check out, there's a few on my list. Spain at some point. There are a few. Are there any countries you visited besides America and Czech Republic?
Yeah, I visited a bunch actually, but
you travel a lot with your family?
I try to. Some with my family, some on my own. I've been to Canada before, but I'm going to British Columbia for Christmas. To see my teammates and spend the Christmas with them. But I've actually been to Spain. I've been to Mallorca. It's an island that's part of Spain. I've been to Egypt. I've been to Istanbul and Turkey. Been to Poland, Germany, France, Hungary, Italy a bunch of times.
Really?
Yeah. So Europe, everything's so close. You can literally take a 3-hour train ride and you're in different countries. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would like to say Istanbul should still be called Constantinople. It should still be called Constantinople.
It's a cool name.
I will die on that hill. I took a sociology class and we learned about how it got renamed and how the Turks we learned about the Armenian genocide and the whole thing.
Yeah.
That is Constantinople. Till I die, I will not refer to that city as Istanbul. That is Constantinople. Is it a nice city though now?
It was nice. It was, some areas were pretty sketchy and dirty, but every major city has that. Sorry, what was that?
Was it a hood, you mean? Like ghetto areas?
There are definitely like hoods, and then some parts were just dirty, I feel like.
Oh, okay.
But every major or big city like that has that. But it was fun. The food was great. Turkish food.
That sounds
But
good.
then it's a different religion, so they had the masses. What do you call it?
Oh, I don't.
Like at certain time, like you would hear the music and on the radio, like you'd hear it in the streets.
Do you know, are they Muslim?
They're Muslim.
They are Muslim. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought so. And they do. They also have such a rich culture over there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and for you in Europe, it's probably easier to travel, right? I imagine.
Yeah.
Because are you guys in the UN? Because can't UN countries get like a special passport and just travel to each other? I believe, right?
I don't even need a passport to go to another country as long as they're part of the Schengen space.
Wow. Okay.
So
There's no paperwork?
like I said, not really. No. Like I said, it's like a 3-4 hour train ride. So the public transportation it's one of the things that's I would say better.
Definitely. Definitely.
People use buses and trains all the time. It's everything's just so much closer and smaller and more dense. America's like really spread. It's definitely easier over there, I think, to travel and see new countries.
Well, I'll ask you this then, I'll ask you this before I ask what I usually ask as my last question.
Mm-hmm.
How many states have you been to then?
In America?
Yeah.
I've been to Pennsylvania. Do I say like?
Or visited,
Okay.
visited
So
even.
visited. I'll say Pennsylvania, Florida, New York, New Jersey,
New York, the best state.
Yeah.
My state, the best, the,
The
best
best
state
state.
in the country.
Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Been to Colorado.
Wow, you've been to more than me. At your career.
Colorado. I had a teammate in my juniors who lived with me. He's from Colorado. Went to see him for Christmas, and Colorado was absolutely amazing. I've been to California, Massachusetts.
Are you into hiking then? Because these are all outdoor states, all outdoorsy
I like
states.
hiking. Yeah.
I was gonna say because Colorado's huge for hunting, fishing, and hiking.
Yeah. We went to Telluride. That's where he's from, and it's a skiing town. The town's elevation is, I think, 8,000 feet.
That's awesome.
So lots of skiing, and then I've driven through. So I drove to Florida from Pennsylvania. So I'm pretty sure I've driven through Georgia. Or what is it? Georgia, South.
Those are beautiful states
What
too.
is this? What are the South, North? Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
You've been everywhere, guy.
Yeah.
You've been everywhere.
But those places I've been only like driving through, but I've visited a bunch.
That's awesome though.
So, yeah.
And as we start to wrap up, what would you want to say to the audience in regards to if they could remember anything from this whole interview, if it got wiped from their brain and they remembered one thing, what do you want it to be? And it can be regarding, art, hockey, life. What is your message or mantra, if you will, to the people?
To the people, like not about me, but like
anything, man. Anything you want them to know. Any notes, if you want to plug your other social medias or your where you publish your art, because I think people should. I would recommend people check out your art if you want to plug the Insta. But if you have any other socials, plug them.
Yeah, I was definitely gonna say check out my Instagram, the Instagram page, and then there's a link to our hockey Instagram too. So definitely check that one out. And if you could come to our games, they're fun, and we can always use more fans. It's definitely more fun playing in front of fans.
How often do you play? I'll try to make it out once or twice before the end of the season.
So we got like 27, 28 games in a year. We got like 15 games left, I think. There's a schedule on the Instagram page, so you can check that out. But I don't know, just
doesn't got to be anything profound. But what's in Joe's mind?
It's in Joe's mind. Just try to, I don't know, enjoy the little things, I'll say.
Enjoy the little things.
I've been trying to do that lately, yeah.
I love that. Enjoy the little things.
The little dinners, the little movie nights with my friends.
Stop and smell the roses.
Yes.
No, I love that. Thank you. And, in conclusion, this has been Dominici the Peer and Josef Vyvial. Caught me a second. For episode 9 of D3, Dominici's Discussions and Debates, your source of discourse, discord, and everything in between. Thank you so much for being here today, Joseph.
Thank you so much. This was fun.
It was awesome, man. And please consider checking out our Instagram account at D3 Radio and Podcast, all lowercase, using the number 3, not the word. Also consider subscribing to our YouTube channel where we post re-uploads of all episodes and YouTube exclusive interviews. Our YouTube username is Dominici's Discussions and Debates, using an ampersand, not the word and. The YouTube handle is D3 Radio and Podcast. That's D-3 with a capital R in radio and P in podcast. The links to each are in the bios of the other ones. We air live via the platform TuneIn Radio on the website tunein.com or the mobile app TuneIn Radio. We typically air 2 p.m. on Tuesdays, and we try to stick to 5 p.m. on Thursdays, although we do fluctuate the second airing sometimes. But stay tuned on the Instagram for weekly schedule updates. Thank you all for tuning in, and hopefully I'll see you guys again very soon. Bye, Mom. I love you.